handling rejection topic in itself is so broad that you can't do it in like half an hour, but I did touch on a few things that you guys can start doing from today. So we are definitely going to make sure that from today you're a bit more equipped with all of that, right? So let's get started, guys. Make sure you have a pen and paper ready, because there's a lot of notes to be taken. Guys, there's no point being on this training if you don't take notes, because at the end of the day, you're not going to remember what I'm saying. So we're doing handling rejection. I don't want you guys just to think this is in a sales aspect. Like, it's not. Handling rejection is a normal day-to-day habit. We all get feared, or we all fear rejection. How many of you guys do actually fear rejection right now? Like right this second, I fear rejection. Put 111 in the chat right now if you're fearing rejection. Fearing rejection. Yeah, quite a few of you guys. Any more? I've only got 4 people fearing rejection. Sometimes, but yeah, how many of you guys actually fear rejection right now? You don't like it, you fear it, you have anxiety over it. Just thinking about rejection makes you feel uneasy. Yeah, guys, don't worry, that's normal. We all feel like that. Okay, so this training is just to go over some tactics that you can do. Now, just to let you know of the agenda this week, we have added 3 calls today. Okay, we've added 3 calls today because obviously you guys need to hit P1K in 2 weeks. We're not resting, right? So we have got 2 opportunity calls, one at 5 p.m. with Jason. So he's doing a Millionaire Mentor opportunity call. They're very long, just be wary. Okay, so we got Jason's one, and then we've got mine and Ad's one 2 hours later at 7 p.m. Okay, so we have got 2 opportunity calls going into place. If your guys have filled in a form, just remind them that we're doing that call for them today at 7 p.m. They have all got a text message from us. They've all got the information. I'm speaking to quite a few right now. So we have got that. Now, whilst me and Ads are working on building your business, you guys will have a crypto training from Z at 9 p.m. I believe at 9 p.m. today. Okay, so you guys are training with trading today whilst we'll be doing the opportunity calls. So just make sure for me you put into the opportunity calls and you guys focus on crypto. That's not a problem. Tomorrow's social media, guys. Thursday's prospecting and building confidence, and Friday are best closers in the world. So we've got an amazing week, guys. We're going to make sure that we do build your residuals and we do build you up to P1K bootcamp. Now let's get started, guys. Fear of rejection symptoms. Can you please write down the symptoms? Yeah, because I believe that fear of rejection is an illness. That I feel like it can crumble you in a way. Like, to be honest, fear of rejection is mad in itself. So this is what the symptoms if you fear rejection. Okay, you think about how other people see you and if it's negatively. Okay, so you think about how other people see you and if it's negatively. Okay, that's the first thing. So you're actually already thinking, what would they think, what would they say, what will they do, right? The next thing is, this is how you know you're fearing rejection, is rejection makes you believe you can't really achieve your dreams. Okay, rejection in your mind makes you believe you can't really achieve your dreams. Okay, so when you're worried about what's going on and what you need to do, in your mind you're thinking, okay, if I'm rejected, then I can't really achieve my dreams. Okay, now that in itself is a killer for all dreams, and is something that I would recommend that you really do look into. Okay, another thing that you might find is you feel not worthwhile to other people, right? So you feel not worthwhile to other people, right? So we want to make sure, guys, we understand that no matter what, we are still worthwhile to people, right? You doubt your worth and your intelligence. Some of you, like, that's another thing. You doubt your worth and intelligence. Okay, and nothing you could have done could change the outcome. So I'm going to go through how we can make sure we don't fear this rejection anymore. But these are the symptoms that you will find. Okay, nothing you could have done would change the outcome. Yeah, nothing you could have done would change the outcome. And also, guys, you also might think that there's no other choice to do it, right? You're going to fail anyway, right? So you might have an opportunity that comes your way, and in your mind you already think you're going to fail. Okay, so that's the fear of rejection, that the symptoms. Now, the first thing that you want to do, guys, is you have a self-fulfilling prophecy. How many of you guys have heard that before? Self-fulfilling prophecy. Put 111 in the chat if you've heard of this phrase, self-fulfilling prophecy. Yeah? Self-fulfilling prophecy. How many of you guys have actually heard of it? You guys should know pretty much what it is. It's basically you are saying something's going to happen and then it happens. Okay, now the reason why it happens is because your actions and your, like, what you think become your actions, and actions turn into results. So if you guys think, oh, this person's going to reject me anyway, that actually comes true because the energy you're giving off is already saying you're going to be rejected. Okay, so that's why the self-fulfilling prophecy is really dangerous. In terms of business, is a killer, because you will not go into the markets you want to go in because you fear you're going to be rejected. Now, how to reject the self-fulfilling prophecy. Now, this is something that we all need help in. I definitely need help in it anyway. It's definitely my personal life. But this is the things that you guys want to work on, okay? So first, you do your affirmations. How many of you have actually done your affirmations in the group today? I'll count it right now. How many of you guys have actually done your affirmations in the group today? So let's see. You guys know to be a lion, you need to do that, right? If I have signed you up and you have not done that, that's a disrespect. But let's see. Okay, so we have got right now, we got Louise who did it, Phoebe, Save, Z, good, right? Liz, okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's too many. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's it. Oh, 6, 7. Okay, cool. 7. We got 7 people who did that, right? 7 people who did the affirmations, but yet there's like however many of you on this training, okay? So you're not doing one of the things that will help you to reject that self-fulfilling prophecy, right? So you got to make sure, you guys, you actually do this, because this is going to help you. This doesn't help anyone but you, right? There's a reason why if you start your day with affirmations, you are already rejecting all of these fears of rejection right now, because you already have self-worth, right? Everything's connected to self-worth. So another thing that you want to do to reject self-fulfilling prophecy is seeing the situation clearly, right? So write that down, seeing the situation clearly. You want to do an analysis of the current situation. So if you guys think, okay, I can't build this business because, you know, this person said no, right? And you're like, I can't do this because, oh, I can't trade because I hit stop loss, right? You're not thinking of the situation clearly, right? So in terms of rejection, that is actually a really like a killer, because once you're rejected once, you think it's the end of the world, right? Once you're rejected once, you think it's the end of the world. Like if you had a bad breakup and you're suddenly like thinking, okay, no one's ever gonna love me, like you're not seeing the situation clearly. So you want to do an analysis of the current situation. So you want to write down exactly the strengths you have, the weaknesses you have, right? The opportunities you have. Yeah, you want to write all those things down. Okay, you want to actually put the situation as clearly as possible. So if you are actually building that self-fulfilling prophecy of how you will be rejected, you need to understand why you won't. Okay, another thing that you want to do in terms of sales especially is you want to flip roles. One of the best things that I did in sales is I flipped the role. So if I was new in something, I became an expert in something, right? So if I started a new company, a new country, if I started a new company, a new role, a new whatever, a new contract, right? I would be new in that right away. But one thing I did straight away is I flipped the role, right? So I wasn't suddenly the new person, I was the expert. So this is something that I make sure that you all do. If you have placements in your business, I make sure that you do take leadership of that business, because it flips the role, right? You won't have that self-fulfilling prophecy that you can't be a leader if you are actually leading, right? So one thing you guys want to do is have leadership skills, and that will help you in building anything you're trying to build, really, because you're flipping the role. Okay, suddenly you're the expert. This is a really good tactic. If you guys feel like you fear rejection, it means you're not helping people that you can help. Go and jump on Zoom and do a one-on-one with someone in your team, right? Go and do a one-on-one, and then that way you won't suddenly be the novice, you're the expert, right? Stop relying on someone to try and carry you when you can do the same for someone else, okay? Another thing that you want to do to reject self-fulfilling prophecy is to create checkpoints. So create checkpoints. You want to create checkpoints, right? So for instance, if you were like, I need to speak to 10 people today, 10 people is too small, guys. If you want to hit P1K, you need to hit like 100, right? But anyway, let's say I want to speak to 10 people today. You want to create a checkpoint where when you hit 10 people, that's you done a small win, okay? So rather than just worrying about what they're going to say and if they sign up, the small checkpoint is just speaking to them, okay? Be accountable for small wins and understand that the little wins each day, right? You need to understand that that compounds into a great effect, and you'll see that the 10 people you speak to today will be the 5 people that join next month, okay? Everything adds up. Like I spoke to someone roughly like a year ago, right? A year ago, they lost their job now, and now they have the form, right? But that's one conversation I had a year ago, but yeah, it can still get me paid now, okay? So don't ever think that whatever you do right now won't benefit you. It will. That small checkpoint will benefit you. You also want to have self-awareness, guys. How many of you guys do actually do self-fulfilling prophecy? Like, what do you guys say to yourself sometimes? Right in the chat box right now, and I'll go on the next slide. What do you guys sometimes say to yourself in self-fulfilling prophecy that fears rejection? What are you saying? No. What I know for a fact, T, you make out that you're so positive. I know you bring yourself down. Don't even give me that bullshit, right? Listen, what do you say to yourself which is holding you back? Right? What do you say to yourself that's holding you back? Because right now, everyone's holding themselves back in some sort of way, right? Someone's holding you back in some sort of way, okay? What are you saying negative to yourself that's holding you back? What are you saying negative to yourself that's holding you back? Yeah, negative to yourself. Because I know for a fact, guys, that people hold themselves back and they think they don't do it. Right? This is where self-awareness is really crucial. And T, you have done it to me actually, because I said to you, do a training, and you said, I'm not there yet, right? You do that. You're just not self-aware that you do it, okay? You have to understand that when you're not coming out of your comfort zone, yeah, when you're not coming out your comfort zone, it's because you are holding yourself back, but you're not self-aware that you're doing that. Okay, this is really an eye-opener, guys. You all do it if you're not where you should be, right? If you're not coming out of your comfort zone, if you're not hosting your own calls, if you're not doing your own trainings, then you are still in your comfort zone, right? So you got to understand that you have to be self-aware of that, right? You have to be self-aware of that. You get 2 opportunities to make money in this business, right? 2. The best way is trading. Yeah, you go and put in a live trade on your analysis. That's the first way to make money. You put in a trade. The second one is presenting the business and signing them up. Yeah, that's 2 ways of making money, right? So if you actually think, okay, I can't do this in any shape, way, or form, you're not going to get those payments in those 2 ways, right? So you have to understand that if you are holding yourself back, you need to know why, right? You need to understand that you are. Okay, what's holding you back? Who is holding you back? There's always someone or there's always something holding you back, but you're not self-aware that you're doing it. Okay, you're not self-aware. So you have to reject this self-fulfilling prophecy. Now, we're not perfect, guys. No one's saying we're perfect. But one thing that we can say is that the people who are going far are the ones that are pushing out of that self-fulfilling prophecy of negativity. They're making themselves move, right? They're using everything in them to move. Okay, so if you guys haven't moved yet, if you guys haven't progressed in one aspect of your life, it's probably because you're holding yourself back. Okay, and that doesn't help. Now you want to also make sure you want to focus how you want to be. Okay, so write down, focus on how you want to be. Okay, you want to say, like, some people say to me, oh, I don't want to hear a no, I don't want to be rejected, like, I don't want to do this because it might not work, like all of these things of negativity, right? But you're not focusing on how you want to be, you're focusing on what your fear is. Okay, so you want to say to yourself, for instance, if you want to grow your business and you're scared of rejection, you want to say, I want to make friends online by next month. Right? I want to be able to speak to people no matter who they are. I want to be able to help people, right? Some of you guys want to help people, but then you're not helping people. And it's like, what the hell? Like, what? That makes no sense, right? It makes no sense. You want to help people, but you're not helping people. right? So because of your fear of what you're saying. So you want to say to yourself, I want to be, or I want to, and then you'll put how you want to be. I want to be confident, right? I want to be able to speak in front of thousands of people. I want to be able to close as many deals as humanly possible. I want to be able to make money on my own back, right? You want to stop relying on someone to feed you information to get you paid, okay? Another thing that you want to stop focusing on is focusing on past actions, past relationships, past friendships, past this. Like, there's so many people that, right, like, I see it all the time. There's so many people that say they want to have a brighter future, but yet they're always looking at the past. They're always looking at what went wrong. They're always focusing on people that left them. They're always focusing on people that don't respect them, right? Rather than making new opportunities, new friends, new network, right? They're living in the same past, but expecting different results, right? Let me tell you, you won't get different results, okay? If you're living in past actions, past mistakes, past flaws, past whatever you're trying to do, like, you'll keep seeing yourself on a loop. Yesterday, I actually did see someone who was from my past, right? I saw them and I was thinking to myself, because we had the exact same conversation that we had 5 years ago. And I was thinking to myself, wow, 5 years have gone by and yet I'm still having the exact same conversation I had 5 years ago. That made me think, wow, am I actually in the right space? Am I actually in the right atmosphere right now? Am I actually doing the right things? Yeah, you want to stop focusing on those past actions that will stop you from who you want to be. Okay, because I tell you now, 5 years ago I was not happy. 5 years ago I was miserable. 5 years ago I had no self-confidence. 5 years ago I was just not where I wanted to be. Okay, so if you're still having those same conversations that you had so long ago at a place that you weren't happy, then maybe that's something that you need to focus on, right? Focus on how you want to be, not how you were. Right? Now, one thing that helps me in this situation is visualization. Obviously, visualization will really help you, okay? In business as well, guys. Like, if you visualize how you are speaking to people, you want to visualize the confidence you have, you want to visualize the words that you're using, you want to visualize how you are around people, right? You don't want to come across desperate. You want to come across confident, right? You want to come across skilled. You want to come across how you wish to come across, right? In my head, I'm not joking. Like, if I'm in a deal, I'm thinking of Harvey Specter. How would he be? Like, what would he say? How would he feel? Like, you got to visualize someone, right? And I don't know why I'm obsessed with suits, but you got to visualize someone, right? And how they are. And then that way it will help you on how you want to become, especially in business, guys. A lot of you guys on this call, I know that it's a business boot camp this week, right? So you all want to stop working for someone else. You all want to have control over your own life. You all want to do something that's a bit more meaningful to you. But if you don't visualize you doing that, it's very, very hard, okay? You're always going to be like, I don't want. So you want to take off I don't want, and you want to say I want to, right? And that will help you in achieving where you want to go. The next thing, which I kind of touched on before, is you want to construct a narrative. Right, there is something in your, okay, this is another thing, right? And I realized this in lockdown. There's something in your life that made you fear rejection, right? Something in your life has occurred that made you fear rejection. Something, and you don't have to say it, you don't have to open up to anyone about it, but there's something that's made you fear rejection. Either someone left you, either you did something wrong, either someone like abused your trust, whatever it is, there's something that happened that has left an impact on your life to fear rejection. You're on this call for a reason, yeah? You saw the title said handling rejection. So that means you know that you've handled rejection, or you want to handle rejection because it's there. So that moment has defined you where you are right now, okay? So whatever you feared, whatever happened to you, you're living in that moment whilst I'm talking to you, okay? So you already know what you're feeling. So when I'm saying there's something in your life that's happened, you already instantly have it in your head what's happened, okay? So you already know, you're all grown, right? Now you have to go back to what that moment is and understand why you believe that every opportunity comes your way is going to end in failure, okay? So when that moment happened, right, that really changed your life, that made you fear rejection, yeah, you need to go back to that moment and believe and find out to yourself why you think that's going to define your life right now, okay? Why is that going to impact you right now? Why is that going to make you your 8, 9, 10 figures or whatever it is, okay? How? you need to write down what made you fear this rejection and how this was not your complete fault. Okay, because sometimes when people fear rejection, it's the belief that it's all around them. Yeah, it's the belief that they did something wrong. It's the belief that they mucked up. Guys, it's not your fault completely. Everything, if you believe in any kind of faith, you understand that everything's planned anyway, right? So you don't want to take everything your responsibility. It was not meant to be, right? Whatever you're fearing, you need to know it was not meant to be, right? So stop dragging up the past. Stop making those same mistakes, okay? You have to live your life and keep going. And you have to realize that narrative that you created yourself, you need to write that down and know that it was not your complete fault, right? You need to gain closure on whatever that moment in your life was, okay? Whatever that moment was, you need to get closure from it, okay? You need to make sure you understand that was not your complete fault. Now, in terms of sales, you can understand that if you are not speaking to 100 people a day, you're not going to get the sales, guys. Not the million level, right? You will not, right? You need to speak to 100 people a day to get million in your business. But when you do, right? When you do, you have to realize maybe once upon a time, one person said no, right? But that's not your fault. If they said no, it might be because of their current situation. It might be because they weren't feeling it. It might be because there's so many reasons, guys. There's so many reasons why someone will say no. It's not necessarily down to what you're saying to them. It can genuinely just be their life at the moment, right? So don't ever think that whatever rejected you is your fault, okay? Don't ever think, in terms of relationships, guys, because I know a lot of you guys have these relationships and stuff like that. That relationship didn't work, right? That friendship didn't work. That wasn't meant to work, right? Leave it at that. Like that, they're not in your life for a reason. When you raise your frequency, when you're raising your self-worth, some people will fall off, right? Because they're not raising it with you. That's not on you, that's on them. So just know that you can't blame yourself in every aspect of this, okay? So construct the narrative and understand, go back to the moment and understand how that wasn't your fault. Does this make sense so far, guys? 119 in the chat if this makes sense, because some of you guys just need to hear it, right? I have a lot of bullshit, to be honest. But guys, sometimes you guys need to just hear that this is how you're controlling your life right now. And they don't teach you this in school either, right? So you really need to hear it from someone. And I know you guys are lazy, so I'll say it to you right now. Now, another thing that you want to do, guys, in terms of fear and rejection, because I get that a lot, is you got to tap into your imagination, okay? Your imagination really is where your dreams can come true. And that sounds so cheesy, but it's so true, okay? In your imagination, you can see anything, right? You can make anything happen, right? So you want to create mood boards, goal cards, you want to meditate each day. You want to explain to people, right? Explain to the team where you see yourself in your best self, right? So at the end of this call, I really want you guys to write a few things of where you see yourself in your best self. Like for me, I see my best self happy, patient, loving, caring, like all of those things is my best self, right? So you want to put that and you want to show people that's where I see myself, right? You want to also put in your imagination, where will you be living? What will you be doing? Why are you here? Why are you working in the first place, right? Why are you in this team? Yeah, what value are you bringing to this team? Do you want to be here? Your best self should show you something that you, especially in this team, you want to show all of that aspect, okay? So you want to create a mood board if you haven't done already. You want to create a goal card if you haven't done already, because your imagination will really, really have the best impact for you in terms of handling emotions. Okay, when you handle emotions and when you handle rejection, yeah, you can go back to seeing this and realize why you're here in the first place, right? Where do you see yourself? Because sometimes when you get rejected, you go into a shell and you bottle it all up and you hide, okay? And then your dreams are just on hold because you're trying to battle this rejection that shouldn't have even happened in the first place. You also want to embrace the not knowing. A lot of people fail to do this. A lot of females fail to do this more than anything. But embrace the unknown, right? Embrace not knowing. Feeling rejected leads to feeling certain you will be rejected. So write that down. Feeling rejected leads to feeling certain you will be rejected, right? So that's a never-ending cycle, guys. Okay? So when you feel rejected, right, when you feel that negative connotation of rejection, you then think or you're certain you will be rejected again in a different situation, a different life, a different person, a different business, a different everything, right? So you got to understand, you can't take those negative connotations with feeling rejected, because that's going to then make you feel that you're going to be rejected again, and then you have this self-fulfilling prophecy, right? So you want to ask yourself, where did this assumption come from? This is something that ad says 24/7, right? Where did this assumption come from? And whether you will do well at something or someone will like you, right? So let me explain that. You fear that someone's going to reject you, right? If you're trying to grow your business, you fear that if you reach out to that person, they're going to be like, oh, get lost, right? Where did that assumption come from they would do that though? Like, how do you know how that person will react? How do you know they won't just be like, oh my gosh, I've been looking for something like this? And that's happened to me a lot, right? A lot of people have said, oh my gosh, I've actually been looking for this. I didn't know who to reach out to. I didn't have the information. I didn't know what I was doing, right? But in your mind, you're being selfish, and you're not reaching out because you're fearing that they're going to tell you like they don't want to know you or something like that. But where did that assumption come from? You don't know them, right? You don't know who they are. You don't know how they're going to react. You don't know what they're going to say, right? So you're stopping yourself because you're fearing that rejection. So you want to be prepared for the worst, because obviously that can happen. But if I got rejected, like I was listening to Eric Thomas like this morning, and he was saying like when he hears no, he gets turned on. Don't know if that's a good thing, but he was saying like if someone says no, like he's like, oh, okay, like why not? Like he would take it as a different feeling, right? He wouldn't look at it as like, oh my gosh, I've just been rejected. He would be like, cool, game on, right? Game on. You guys have to take that no like that, okay? Not in terms of relationships, guys, because that is rape. But you want to take on everything else, okay? You want to take on everything else and be like, you know what? Like, why not? Right? You want to have that kind of feeling where if someone says no to you, you're actually happy. It is a Detroit thing. My family are like that actually in Detroit. When you say no to them, they love it. They want to keep fighting, right? So you want to make sure that you have the same connotation when someone says no, okay? Let me say again, not in relationship, guys, because that's not allowed. But in everything else, yeah, in business, in whatever you want to achieve, when someone says no, just know that's not no right there, okay? This is what Matt Rosa says, and I think he's amazing, Chairman 750. And also, guys, oh yeah, there's another call today at 3 p.m. with Matt Rosa. There's so many calls on today, guys. There's a call with Matt Rosa today, a value call that he's giving out as well. And one of the main things he says is connected to everything, attached to nothing, okay? So that's a really good way of thinking that like anything can happen. You're going to go all in, right? But anything can happen, but you're not attached to anything, okay? So you're embracing the not knowing. Now you want to also redefine, so we're going to finish this training. You want to redefine rejection. This is the best challenge I've ever seen. It's called a 100-day challenge, right? In being rejected. Xiao Jiang, right, did a challenge of desensitizing rejection and asking questions on that would receive a no, right? So it's so funny, guys. You need to watch it if you haven't watched it already. Day one, he was like, he asked a stranger, can I have $100? Right? He purposely asked weird situations like, hey, can I have $100? And then they'll say no. And then he'll be like, oh my gosh, and then run away, right? But he did 100 days of asking for things, okay? So the second day he said, hey, he went to like, I don't know what place it was, a burger place, and said, do you do burger refills? Yeah, like he was asking so many weird things, right? That was gonna get a no. But do you know what happened? This is what changed his mindset, because one of his biggest fears was handling a no, right? When someone said no to him, he used to run away and had this intense amount of anxiety. So what he wanted to do was create a whole system of desensitizing that rejection. So he would purposely go out every day. Now, the one thing that changed him, which I find amazing, is that he was on his third day or fourth day, I can't remember, maybe a fifth day, he went up to Krispy Kremes and said, hey, can you make 5 donuts for me in the shape of Olympics, right? He was obviously going to say that. He was obviously going to be like, this woman's going to say no, because that's weird. Like, well, how can I make a donut like the Olympics? Like, and just someone saying it. But guys, it was so amazing. They went back and came back 15 minutes later with the Olympic donuts, right? Like 5 rings. And he was so humbled and he was so amazed that he asked something that was so ridiculous. And then someone said yes. Okay, that's one thing, guys, that you should take on board as well. If you fear rejection every day, go and ask something that you know might result in a no. But guys, when you handle that no, right, you're gonna grow. After those 100 days, when someone says no to you, it's not gonna bother you. Okay, this is a challenge I feel like everyone should do. This is a challenge that all of our teams should do, guys. I feel like everyone should really start taking those no's and really taking it. So we can ask some weird questions. Yeah, we can all do it as a team. We can go and ask someone some weird questions like, hey, will you lend me £10 to a stranger? Right, to a stranger, let's see what happens. Or if you go to Tesco's and be like, hey, can I drive here? Like, go and ask them. What's going to happen? They're going to kill you? No. Right, so these are the things he learned, guys. He learned that no can always turn into a yes when more information is given. Right, so one thing he said after he asked the question is saying why. So guys, write down why. A lot of people, they ask the question and they say no. It's like, okay, sorry to bother you, bye. Right? But he's saying, stop doing that. Stop running away from the conversation. Just say why. And what he found is a lot of people then eventually said yes, because they had more access to information. Okay? So if you're asking someone, hey, do you want to do this? And they say no, right? Then you can be like, why? And then they're going to give you the reason. And you can be like, well, actually, no, I think you got it wrong because it's like this. Right? So you want to ask why when someone says no to you. At least then you get peace of mind. Some people, they make the problem so big in their head. They think they're saying no because of them, but really they're going to say, actually, I can't because my mum's in this situation. I can't do this. And then you're going to look at it and be like, okay, that's not my fault. So I tried and that's not my fault. So you're going to make it a lot easier for you to gain confidence. Empathy is a great way to break down barriers. So one thing he said is when he said, okay, so this is the Starbucks one. I told you, you guys need to watch this challenge. It's hilarious. So this is a Starbucks one where he went into Starbucks and he said, hey, can I be your greeter? Right? Like, can I just welcome people in the front of Starbucks? And the guy was like, no, that's weird. No, and he said no. And then he said, why? Is that weird? And then the guy was like thinking, well, yeah, but okay, go for it, because then you're on the same level. So then he started greeting people at Starbucks, right? That's what he started doing. He started greeting people at Starbucks for an hour. He said it was really boring, guys, so don't do it. But that's what he said he was doing. And he said that he created empathy by saying, is that weird? Right? So when you ask someone something and it sounds, they say no, and they give you a weird look, you can go back and ask them saying, why? Is that weird? And then they're going to be like, well, not really, because then they start exercising empathy. If they don't exercise empathy, guys, they're a narcissist, just saying. But guys, that's what their person should start doing, should give you that empathy back. And then you're going to do what they're going to say anyway. He also says persistence often turns no into a yes, right? So he turns persistence, and he says that turns no into a yes. So if you ask the same thing every day, and you keep asking, that eventually turns into a yes, okay, with whoever you're asking. It's a law of averages, guys. You're not going to get no 1,000 times, okay? You're going to probably get yes a fair few times. But all you have to do is keep asking. He also said he fulfilled his life simply by asking. So write that down. You can fulfill your life simply by asking. And that's a fact, guys. Like sometimes my life is here just simply by asking, right? Simply asking, okay, what about this? Right? If I didn't ask that question, I wouldn't be given what I was given. Right? If I didn't ask this situation, I wouldn't be in this situation right now. But guys, if you don't ask the questions, you don't reap the benefits, okay? So it doesn't hurt to ask. He also said rejection does not define you, okay? So write down rejection does not define you. A lot of people feel like rejection defines them. If someone says no to them, then there's a reason for it, right? There's something wrong with them. There's something that's not right with them. But guys, he says there's a higher purpose in life, okay? Your rejection is not your higher purpose. You being rejected is not your higher purpose, okay? That's nothing to do with what happens. That's in order to get you to your higher purpose. So guys, rejection does not define you. And the final thing that he said was it fuels our determination to keep hearing no. So every time he heard no, he got excited because it's a no challenge, right? So then the next day, he was even more determined to get that no, right? And then this is how you transfer it into your skills, is that when you hear a no, you're going to go 110% in the direction of where you want to achieve to prove that person wrong, Okay, if you don't, but that only works if it fuels your determination. If it stops you, if it makes you quit, if you suddenly stop trying. Some of you guys get no, some of you guys hit stop loss and you stop trying, and then I'm looking at you and thinking, how have you taken that L as the wrong way? Because now you're going to cost yourself even more money, right? You want to fuel your determination with that no. You want to fuel your determination with that stop loss. You want to make sure that you keep learning, guys, because I'm telling you now, this world is here to test you again and again and again, right? It's up to you if you actually keep it going, right? Guess what's even more madder? And I genuinely believe this. I genuinely believe that the world is going to give you the same tests that you've already failed again to see if you fail it again, right? So imagine, this is what I genuinely believe. I believe that a situation came into my life and then that happened and I failed that test. And I know I failed that test, right? Because I was like, I did the wrong thing. I should have done this, but I did this instead. But then you move on, right? So you learn from it. But then the same test is going to come up again, right? Just to see if you pass it. And if you fail it again, that's on you, right? The same exact test will come back into your life. And it happened yesterday for me, actually. The same test came back into my life. And then when it came back into my life, I was thinking, am I going to pass this or not? Because this is the same situation I had 5 years ago, right? So you got to make it fuel your determination, right? You got to make sure that you don't keep failing these tests that come up to you, okay? Because that's going to happen. And the more closer you get to being successful, the more of those tests are going to come. They're going to come to distract you. They're going to come to ruin what you have. They're going to come to just pull you back into that bad place. So you want to make sure that you fuel your determination with that rejection. So guys, you've seen this slide again and again. I'm going to repeat it every day this week because I feel like it's super important, right? You want to be laser focused on your goals. You want to roll towards your future. You want to be obsessed with learning. You want to value money. You want to control finances. You want to meet with the team every day. You want to celebrate success. You want to starve doubt. And you want to make sure that you never meet the devil, okay? So that's one thing that I want to go through. Now, the lesson here is that rejection does not define you, and that you're not going to achieve success with it. You are going to achieve success with it, not without it. So I'm going to say that again. Rejection does not define you. You are going to achieve success with rejection, not without it. Okay, that rejection is going to help you become successful. Without that rejection, it means you haven't tried, guys. Okay, so you need to get those no's because that means you're closer to where you're supposed to be. So that is the end of this week, this morning's training, guys. I hope that was helpful, right? I hope that was helpful, guys. I hope this is going to help you in achieving where you need to go for this week, today, tomorrow, next year, 5 years. I hope you remember exactly what I said on this call, okay? Now, that is the end of the training, guys. Make sure you put your appreciation in the chat. Make sure you show people what you've learned. Make sure you show people your affirmations if you haven't done so already, and put in the chat what you're going to do today so you won't do it differently, so you do it differently from yesterday. But thank you so much, guys. I really appreciate you being on this call. I'm so glad that you're all lions with me, and we're going to have an amazing day, guys. We got 5 calls. There's going to be loads of calls today, so keep today free if you want. Take care, guys. Bye.